Today's adventure actually started before we even stepped into the woods. Ethan taught us a fascinating fact about how a colony of ants will replace its queen by eating it and then making room for a new queen. Then there was his survival backpack. Every pocket had a purpose: a flashlight, a net, first aid supplies, tools. He thought of everything and he was ready for whatever the wilderness had in store. Now, if you know me, you know this is not exactly my idea of a perfect Saturday. I like pretty parks and air-conditioned museums, maybe a local festival downtown, but an overgrown forest full of bugs and spiders and snakes and who knows what? No, I am way too much of a city girl. But Ethan had been asking to explore the woods behind our house, so today I finally said yes. I couldn't believe my eyes when I realized that the trail began with a tiny opening in the trees. I honestly wasn't sure I was going to fit through it. Within seconds, I had already collected spider webs in my hair, and I was convinced a snake was going to fall out of a tree or I would end up eaten alive somewhere by bugs. Meanwhile, Ethan couldn't have been happier. Every log was worth investigating. Every sound was a mystery. Every few steps, he was calling us over to discover something new. This little patch of woods wasn't just a forest to him. It felt like his forest. And then there was Elias. He was just as excited to be there, but in such a different way. While Ethan was charging ahead looking for the next adventure, Elias stayed close beside me. He kept checking to make sure I was okay, warning me about branches, helping me through the narrow spots, and making sure I didn't get left behind. It reminded me so much of who they are. One brother leads the adventure, and the other brother makes sure that everyone gets there safely. Together, they're a pretty great team. Then we came across something I wasn't expecting. This cute little handmade rope swing stretching across a little creek. It felt like something straight out of a storybook, like we'd stumbled into a hidden world built for kids with big imaginations. For a moment, all the bugs and the sweat and the spider webs didn't even matter, just for a second. It really was beautiful. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't last very long. I reached my limit before either of the boys did, but as we walked back home, I realized something. I realized that sometimes the best adventures aren't about going somewhere famous. Sometimes they're just waiting in your own backyard. The boys didn't see an overgrown patch of woods. They saw wonder, adventure, a place that felt like it belonged to them. And seeing it through their eyes reminded me that there's still so much beauty to discover when we're willing to slow down and look. So will I volunteer to hike through an overgrown forest again anytime soon? Probably not. But if Ethan asks and Elias is there smiling, making sure his mom survives the journey, there is a pretty good chance I'll grab the bug spray, take a deep breath, and follow my boys wherever they want to wander.